All right, so now back in the studio, here you will see my drop Cascade gloves. So you can see here, at this point they are quite used. I hope you enjoyed that footage. I tried to do a little bit of a different review this time, kind of bringing you into some of the action, showing these gloves getting some good overall use. Now, I wore these for basically 12 hours straight, really more than that, doing a number of different chores, and in each one of the tasks, these performed quite well. So the first thing is with the shoveling and sort of the handwork, these work definitely quite well. We're capable of keeping my hands very warm, and for a long period of time they did stay dry, but after prolonged use you will see that that moisture started to wick into some of the leather here. Now overall that did not necessarily pose to be a problem. For the most part my hands were perfectly fine. The only time that became a problem is when I actually took the gloves off, and after taking the gloves off, because the temperatures were so low, these gloves did have a tendency to freeze. Now that's not the gloves' fault, that's just the nature of the beast, and that's me kind of, to be honest with you, not managing things the best I could. If I was careful with these and I put them somewhere, even though they were wet on the outside, and I put them someplace really kind of carefully, I was able to keep the gloves nice and warm. However, when they did get sort of frozen, I can say it was cold on my fingers. I had to work a little bit to get my hands kind of back up to temperature, but again, not really the gloves' fault. That's sort of the nature of the beast and something I had to do a better job managing. So the other thing you will see is that I did a ton of work to process firewood. Now I didn't show you too much of that. I really did have my hands full, but with all that work, so branches and logs and splitting and preparing the fire and just going after all of that wood, these had absolutely no problem at all. Very durable. You will see in a couple of spots some minor little nicks and dings, but for the most part these are in perfect shape. There is some padding right on the palms where you need it. The fingers and the overall dexterity worked very well, but the one thing that you'll see, and in that footage I alluded to it, literally on just my right hand glove, so just a function of when my hands were actually wet or a little bit sweaty. Sometimes they were just a little sweaty with significant work. When I would pull my hand out, it would sort of remove the pinky liner just a little bit and kind of pull that out of place. So when I had to get my hand back in, I really needed to work my finger into place to get it all straightened out. And if there was any complaint at all on these, I would say that's the one place that needs to be addressed. But it did not happen on the left glove. It just happened on the right hand one for some reason, and I'm not exactly sure why. Now, subtle little things. Again, these cuffs are a little bit tight for my hands. Now, keeping in mind that, again, these are a medium. Now, if I loosen this cuff, these fit perfectly fine. So after a while, I just got used to the idea that whenever I would take them off, I'd loosen the cuff, slide my hand in, tighten it back up, and get moving. It became a fluid motion for me after a while. Now, I struggled at first where basically I would just try to take my hand and jam it in and kind of forget that I had to undo the cuff. It's just the nature of a pair of gloves like this. I am kind of used to gloves that have a bigger cuff and kind of come over my wrist more. Now, there is an advantage to that style glove where not only is it easier to get your hands in, but it also adds an additional layer of coverage where you have some overlap with your sleeves. These do not do that, so there is a slight tendency, if you're not careful with the cuff of your actual garment, to get it over there. There is a tendency to have some vulnerability and exposure to the weather or to cold, but overall, I didn't mind it, and this is just a particular style of glove. Now, these little retaining straps worked very well. I found that sometimes I'd forget to put this on my wrist, and I would just kind of go about my way, and I'd start working. I'd get my hand, I'd slide it in, and this would be dangling around and getting caught. Now, they are removable, so if you don't like that little leash, you can take it off. I have to say that when I was diligent in paying attention, getting it on my wrist first, and then putting my hand in the glove and getting to work, I did enjoy taking a break and just having this kind of tethered to my wrist, so I didn't worry about where to put my gloves, and then I just slide my hands back into place, get back to work, and my hands were good and protected. So the way I came up with the sizing in the first place, if you look at the actual instructions and the actual sizing, I may have been more suitable to a size large, but again, where I was doing a lot of work and really using my hands for a lot of different tasks, I felt as though the medium would be better, and I came to that conclusion using a chart that you can print off the Drop website. So even though some of the words on here got scrambled for some reason, this chart is accurate in size. So as you take your hand and match it up, you will see for me, I pretty much land directly on that size medium. Now, if you had a slightly wider hand, where I'm sort of in between, I probably could have got away with the large, but the good thing for me, with my hand size and the way this fits, the finger size was even perfect. So I really can't complain about the fit. The fit is actually excellent. And when they say fits like a glove, well, that's absolutely the case in this particular application. The inside has a fleece-like liner with a couple little gussets to help with the overall ability to get these on. Generally speaking, nice features all the way around. I do like the fact that it's a little bit soft right on the thumb, gives you the ability to kind of wipe your nose, and it's not leather on the entire garment. This is very stylish as well. I like the different color combinations that Drop offers. This one here in the tan and olive with that black. There are, again, different color combinations. I just thought this happened to have a little bit of a pop, and to be honest with you, with this particular color, just shows up a little bit better on camera. So materials can make or break a product, and here you'll see everything is high-end and definitely premium. So from the goat skin leather to the Goretex construction, the Primaloft insulation on the inside, and these Cascade's gloves ability to actually use a smartphone or device using your thumb or your finger. You'll notice that will not work with any other finger, but here on the index finger and here on the thumb, it does work to get through your device. So the ability to click on things and really make it through your cell phone without taking off your gloves is definitely a plus. Couple of final little details. You do have the ability to clip the gloves together. So if you wanted to kind of stash these away, get them put away, this does have the ability to clip them together. So a nice little added feature. Lots of little details. Here you'll see the Primaloft logo stitched in. I'm not exactly sure what this little flap is. I should probably know that, but I don't. It's an interesting little detail. I think it just adds a little bit of protection on your wrist. Overall, nice Velcro, well stitched, cool little logos, interesting design, nice fit and finish, and overall a very nice product. So alright guys, there you have it, an in-depth look at these Cascade gloves from Drop Manufacturing. So again, I'd like to say thank you very much to the people at Drop Manufacturing. Overall, generally speaking, very nicely done. I greatly like these gloves. I think they fit very well in a number of different applications, and in this particular case, I used them in the backpacking and camping application. These don't necessarily need to be only considered for a snowboarding or skiing glove. They are good quality, hard use gloves. Overall, keeping my hands nice and warm, very comfortable, reasonable dexterity for a pretty warm and thick glove. Altogether, I have to say, I am pretty impressed. So alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.